Whoops. All right, everything looks good. All right, what's up, guys? Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the 44th Ask Me Anything live stream. For those that are watching the replay of this, you can watch these live streams generally on the weekend, usually around 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And if I'm unable to get one in on Saturday, I'm going to try to do one on Sunday. As you can tell with the title of this stream, Keep Showing Up. This is an idea that I've been thinking a lot about recently, and it's something that I want to apply more to my life, and specifically this channel. So in the past, I would stream maybe twice a month, and I figured, like, why not do more? Like, I could at least try to show up every single week, kind of to just hold myself accountable, and also it will expedite the process at which I improve and get better at these streams. So that's my idea for the stream today. I just want to talk about some general philosophies around this idea of keep showing up, as it's a very simple concept, but I think it is one that is extremely powerful if utilized properly. Let me just double check that stream health is good. There's been a couple of times where I've been streaming and I forgot to hit the start. Connection is good. Okay, cool. So anyways, not only do I want to produce more live streams, but I think I can do better in terms of the videos that I release, the YouTube shorts in particular, and maybe even the podcast. But I might hold back on the podcast, as that's kind of like my long-term 5-year plan type of thing. And again, I think it's really good to have not only short-term goals, realistic goals, but also long-term goals where you're not expecting any type of monetary success. And that's what the podcast is. Like, the podcast is something that I want to just keep doing, keep learning, keep getting better at. And then hopefully, like, say, 5 years from the start of it, it will begin to prosper and grow. But for the YouTube channel, I want to really focus on showing up more. Like, keep showing up. And so I've been posting a lot of YouTube shorts recently. So I've been trying to get one out every single day, as I think it's pretty easy. Like, if you want to make a YouTube short that's 20 to 30 seconds, there's pretty much no excuse for why you can't just bang one out every single day. And so I'm going to try to do that, pretty much because the barrier to entry is super low. There's no excuse really for why you can't make like a 20-second video, even if you just want to use your phone. Make it super accessible. I am going to restrict them only to YouTube. So in the past, I'd post them to Instagram and TikTok, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I just want to keep everything kind of on YouTube, as I'm extremely bullish on YouTube. I know that, hold on, let me mute this for 1 second. I know that TikTok, unfortunately, is the place to be. Like, if you want to make YouTube shorts or this short form vertical content, like, TikTok is the place that you want to post. However, I have this view on TikTok where I think it's bad for your mental health in particular. And I'm not trying to differentiate TikTok, Instagram stories, and YouTube and all this stuff, but like, for whatever reason, especially for me, whenever I've been on TikTok, my feed is always stuff that is super engaging or super distracting and entertaining. And what I mean is, when I would watch YouTube shorts, for example, right, my algorithm is like motivational videos, workout videos, self-improvement speeches. There's a lot of Jocko Willink in my feed, a lot of David Goggins, Jordan Peterson, like that type of stuff. Like, really motivational shorts appears in my YouTube shorts feed. But then whenever I'd go into TikTok, it's like basketball, NBA highlights, sports injuries, fast cars. Like, it's all this type of content that's not useful to me. And it's strange because maybe that's what I searched on TikTok. I'm not entirely sure how that algorithm works, but YouTube pretty much knows what I'm into, and the whole self-improvement, self-help, just trying to become more productive and be a better person, just like these ideas and knowledge that I'm trying to acquire. So it shows me more of that. So I have no problem browsing YouTube Shorts because it's generally positive and beneficial stuff. However, TikTok, it's the exact opposite. I don't find anything beneficial or educational to my life whenever I scroll through TikTok. And so I can't remember who it was, but someone on this stream used this analogy that TikTok is a swamp, and that type of content belongs in the swamp. And this is why I love these streams, because that message, it really resonated with me, this analogy of a swamp. And so I kind of put that to heart, and it's something that I always remind myself whenever I get caught with instant gratification loops, like TikTok, for example. And so I stopped posting on Instagram, I've stopped posting on TikTok, and I'm pretty much just all in on YouTube. And there's a lot of great things coming down the YouTube pipelines, especially with how they're promoting shorts more and promoting live streams and improving the features. Now, again, this is like kind of like a tough decision to make, because like the shorts, the vertical format videos, TikTok is king. And then for streaming, like this stream I'm doing right now, Twitch is king, right? So I am kind of creating on suboptimal platforms right now. Like YouTube is still like up there, right? But their streaming capabilities and shorts capabilities are still fairly limited. Like you can't even select a thumbnail still for your YouTube short. Like that's kind of brutal, right? And then for streaming, like Twitch has all this amazing functionality with subs and gifted subs, and those points you get for watching a stream and then giving your viewers something, like it's awesome, right? But YouTube doesn't have any of that yet. William, yeah, what's up, William? How you doing, bro? From Brazil. Oh, greetings to Brazil. What's up, man? Never been to Brazil before, but how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the super chill Saturday stream. So I'm just going over some ideas about how I want to stay more consistent and hold myself accountable with the type of content that I make, like on YouTube and on this channel, because this is like something that I don't really hear too many people talk about. But there's that old saying that motivation is fleeting and that you should build discipline instead, which 100% makes sense. But something happens as time goes on where the excitement for content creation starts to wane. It starts to kind of fall off. People get less motivated. It's not as exciting as it once was to create new videos or titles and thumbnails. And this kind of sense of urgency you have to create content slowly starts to fall off. It's like all things in life, right? It's less exciting as time goes on. However, I'm still at a point where I'm extremely motivated with the type of content that I release in this whole content creation journey. And so every once in a while, I try to get back on the horse and reinvigorate myself, and I ask myself, like, what's my purpose, right? What's my purpose for this channel? Why do I make these videos? Or what direction, or what are my goals for the future? And I ask myself these very important questions, and it reinvigorates me, right? This motivation, this passion, and this drive that I have to make content. And I remind myself, like, there's people that find value from some of these ideas we talk about. There's people that find the streams beneficial, or the videos beneficial, or the podcast helpful. And so in that sense, it's almost like you have a duty to your tribe of people to keep going. And I don't want to let them down, right? I don't want to be that creator who posts for a couple years and then all of a sudden it's been like 8, 9, 10 months since my last video. Like, I don't want to be one of those type of creators on YouTube. Like, you see them far too often where someone will talk about getting burned out. You know, they're burned out from making all these videos, from creating content, and now they quit. And so I'm very cognizant of that. I'm very aware about burnout, right? And making sure that it doesn't affect me. And so one of the ways I counter that is to continually ask myself, you know, what am I doing this for? Am I still enjoying it? You know, what direction am I going with the channel? And can I find ways to keep showing up? And so this is what I've like kind of really been thinking about these past couple of days, and just getting better, right? Like, because in the beginning, when I first started creating the channel, it was so much fun because there's like this learning curve where everything is new, like everything is fresh. I had no idea how to make an engaging video. My video editing skills were pretty basic. My photo thumbnail editing skills in Photoshop were terrible. They were atrocious. I could barely use Photoshop at all. My writing ability for scripts and ideas for videos was, again, pretty bad. This is something that I've never done before. And my nerves on camera were at an all-time high. There was like extreme amount of anxiety and fear whenever I was in front of the camera to record a video, because I was afraid of what people would think. I was afraid of what people would comment or what people would say. And all of those things improve with time. Like, it's like any other skill in life, right? It's like any other skill. If you just keep showing up, everything becomes easier and easier, and you become more efficient with your time. But at the same time, there's also this inverse relationship that happens where that excitement and passion and drive starts to fall off as things get too easy. And it's kind of like that flow state graph that you see a lot in the self-improvement world, where if things are too easy, you will sway towards boredom. But then if things are too difficult, then you'll sway towards anxiety. And so you don't want things to be too difficult where it makes you anxious, but also you don't want to make things too easy where you just end up being bored, right? So again, it's like finding that fine line, that balance, that in between of boredom and anxiety is what gets you in the flow state. And so I think about that a lot, because there's times where, you know, video editing is extremely boring. It's become almost a mundane task for me now. I have learned pretty much all that I want to learn. I can definitely be more effective and faster with my edits. I could definitely improve as a video editor. But in terms of just clipping a video, editing the colors, the sound, rendering it, adding a few effects here or there, maybe adding some text for YouTube, I'm pretty much at a level where I'm happy. It's because fancy transitions and really fancy video editing does not make a good video. What's way more important is the meat and potatoes of the video, the bones, the story. Like what is the video about? That is way more important than any fancy transition or intro, right? And people get lost in this idea where they think that visual effects, you know, great lighting, great camera gear, that is what makes a video good, but it's not, right? And we've seen this time and time again with videos where people have made with their phone, like 720p, and they go super viral because there's either something very entertaining, something educational, or there's just an awesome story behind the video, right? And so I kind of think about that, where the quality of the camera you're using doesn't indicate the value of the video. And you know, that's like a trap that I fell into early on because I had like the videography background, right? I enjoy cameras, I enjoy lenses, I enjoy the whole videography process because it's fun, right? It's fun to go out and record a bunch of cool footage. Maybe you want to work on a certain transition, like a masking transition, where you cut one frame into a completely different scene and you make it all smooth and cinematic. Like all that stuff is a lot of fun. But again, like those effects in and of themselves will not make the video good. And it took me a while to learn this early on because the editing and all that stuff, it was a lot of fun for me. I had a lot of joy coming from that. So that was something that I was chasing. But when you spend too much of your time focusing in on that, like the glit and glamour of the video, the cosmetic value, then the content, the story, the message in and of itself, then that starts to suffer, right? So again, I try to push like my urge to do special effects to the side, and I try to focus more on the story and the content itself. Yo, Martin, what's up, dude? Yo, how's the business, man? How did that business proposal go? I remember last time you said on Tuesday something was going on. So how did it go? I'm super excited to see where your entrepreneurial journey leads because of how young you've started. It's super inspiring. And that type of stuff really motivates me. It's like I love seeing like the younger generation that has that different mindset, right? That are like really going after it. I think they flaked. That's okay, dude. That's okay. But we keep it stepping, bro. Yeah, man. Those like people will do that on you, right? They'll back out last minute, they'll flake on you, they'll have excuses. That happens for me about like 90% of the time with the podcast. Like for every 10 people I ask or I get a response back for the podcast, like usually 9 of 10 will either say yes, or they'll have an excuse, or they'll want to rebook the date, or they'll ghost me, or they won't reply when the date comes, or they won't reply when I want to reschedule. Like it's the resistance there from people. It's extremely frustrating, right? But like you can't let that get you down, because that is going to be the majority of your interactions with people, especially in an entrepreneurial world. And I know you know this, right? Just finished mock exams too, so I got all the time in the world to outreach now. Hey, bro, there you go. That's awesome. School's well, we've talked about school ad nauseum. It's such a pain in the ass, but that's awesome. Now you got time. Make sure you maximize this time that you got, right? And again, I know you know this. Like I don't need to be condescending here. These are a lot of concepts I know that you already know, but yeah, man, don't let those people get you down, because you're gonna feel bad, right? And I know people will say like, oh, just ignore it, but like it will hurt a little on the inside when people let you down, when people flake on you, when people don't have the same motivation and drive that you have. It's very frustrating as an entrepreneur, right? Because a lot of these people, they don't have the same mindset as us, right? They don't have that sense of urgency. And that kind of drives me a little crazy, right? Because I'll ask like smaller YouTubers in particular, like someone that's new, and I'll be like, hey, your channel has a couple hundred subscribers. You want to come on my podcast? We can promote your YouTube channel. Like if someone reached out to me like that when I started, I would have been all over that opportunity. Like I would have cleared my schedule. I would have been like so excited to get like some type of opportunity like that, where someone was asking me like, hey, come on this podcast, I can help you out, like free of charge. And so because I wanted that when I started, that's what I tried to offer to other creators that I see who are just starting out. Like, hey, I see you're hungry. I see you're posting. I see you just started a new channel. Maybe, a little boost on a podcast will help you out. And it amazes me at how many excuses people come up with to avoid doing the difficult thing, like podcasting, for example. And I know podcasting is not for everyone. Trust me, like I get it. I know some people don't want to talk out of script. Some people don't like to be recorded in a live setting where you can't really edit out the stuff you say. And I get that. Like there's a fear behind that. There's a level of anxiety that people have with it. I totally get that. But it's like it kills me when I see people that have potential and they're not willing to like go after it. They're not willing to put in the work. And it's like a tough thing. It's a tough thing to talk about because people will think you're crazy, right? Like people think I'm crazy for always like pushing myself and trying to improve and trying to get better and try to build this business that I'm working on. And oh, you should just settle. You have a comfortable life. But it's like, no, I don't want to settle. That's the exact opposite of what I want. I don't want it to be easy. I want all the struggle, right? I want to go through the growing pains of growing a channel. I want to go through the growing pains of building a podcast, a website, writing a book, making a Skillshare course. All those things are going to be extremely difficult, and they're scary because I've never done them before. But that's what I want, right? I want to move towards those tasks that I'm scared of, because I know that if I accomplish them and break through, then it's going to make me just an infinitely better content creator and person in general, right? But like that mindset, it's very difficult to have. It's very difficult to curate that type of mindset and apply it to your life. So, but yeah, great to hear that you're still motivated, Martin. Just keep going, dude. I'm super excited to be like, even think about like where you'll be 6 months from now, where you'll be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Like your future self is going to be so thankful for the current Martin who was willing to go against the grain, right? Who was willing to not listen to other people. People might say like being an entrepreneur is stupid, or you're taking risks, or you should just focus on school, or you should just do this or just do that, or you're wasting your time going to the gym. Like it takes a lot of courage to ignore the naysayers. And that's what they are, right? Those are the people that they doubt you when you're starting off. They doubt you when things aren't really working out. They doubt you when you're kind of struggling. But then, once you start getting some momentum, and once you start getting some success, those are the people that are gonna later on ask you how you did it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, hey, that's awesome," and then they'll support you. And people are shallow like that. They'll support you once you have success, right? No one wants to support the guy with the dream. So it's tough, man. Oh, Mr. Drama is here. Yo, Kevin. Hey, Kev, I finished editing our podcast last night. It's gonna go live tomorrow morning. It took me so long. I had a lot of stuff on my plate. But yeah, the podcast will be live tomorrow at 9 a.m. I think. Yeah, 9 a.m. it should be live. What's going on, Mr. What was it? Reject modernity, embrace masculinity. I love it, dude. I love it. Bro, I'm thinking from switching from high school to college to only get to go to school 2 or 3 times a week and get no homework, as opposed to high school where I go 5 times a week so I can work on my plant. Oh, you can switch from high school to college early? That's an option? So then you'd only go 2 or 3 times a week. Dude, that sounds so much better. See, if you do that, like, this is the thing. Like, if you can free up your time so you can invest more in your business plan, it will just expedite the process for success, right? Because again, the beginning, you're going to have all the growing pains. When you first start a business, like you're going to have no direction, you're going to have no clients, you're going to have failure at every turn, every step of the way, you're going to fail, right? But if you can somehow invest more time into it, it's only going to expedite the process. And if you go to college and you only have to go to, like, again, like your school system is very different than mine, so I can't really relate to what that's like. Because for us, so there's no option really for that. But if it could free up your time, dude, that'd be amazing. And also, it would also probably please your parents too that you're still doing some form of education. And I know that's like that's another possibility you also have to think about too, right? Like, I guess it all depends. It all depends on your situation, though. Sorry, I mean sixth form to college, because they are the same level in the UK. But college is seen as for the less intellectually gifted. So if I fail this, my qualification will be... Wow, really? That's so That's so different than the school system that we have in North America. Sixth form. They are the same level, but college is seen as less intellectually gifted. Wow, that's so bizarre. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So if you fail, your qualification will be worse. Okay. You know what? That's kind of cool that you have options, though, right? That's interesting, dude. Does that mean, so if you only have to go to school two or three times a week, is it like for us here in North America, usually like our high schools are super close and there's a lot of them. So it takes you like maybe 10 minutes to get to school. But here our colleges are far away and there's not many of them. So a lot of the times it'll take like an hour or two just to get there. Is it going to be like that for you too? Like the commute time to like it seems so, it's so different, because for us the college is the exact opposite. When you go to college here, it takes up more of your time. The classes are longer, it takes longer to get there, you have more courses, you have more homework, you have more like projects. College for us here is awful. I think that's why I was never successful at it. But dude, if that could free up more of your time, like to work on your passion project, like hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Like go for it. Hold on, let me catch up with Kevin saying, yo, Mr. Drama, what's going on, man? I feel like I could have done a lot better in the podcast. I've noticed that I've gotten better at talking ever since I started YouTube. Yeah, don't worry, man. The podcast, the first time you do a podcast, it's always awkward. It's like any other skill, right? The first time you do it, you're shit at it. But don't worry. Like, don't worry about it. Because by forcing yourself to do that one podcast episode, your ability to communicate and have better conversations will just improve, right? Because that's something difficult you've done. So the next time you do a podcast, say we do another podcast in the future, you'll be so much better at conversing because you already did the first one. And the first one is the hardest one to do. So, and again, it will help your YouTube videos, right? I've noticed I've gotten better at talking ever since I started YouTube. Yeah, it's like, again, you're talking to the camera. Maybe, I don't know if you're writing scripts for your videos, or maybe you're thinking about like title ideas, or maybe you're brainstorming something. Like just the act of forcing your brain to think about ideas to talk about, and then articulating them, even to a camera, will help your speech, will help your ability to talk, help the way you converse with other people. And it's a great thing. Like even before I started YouTube, like my ability to have conversations with people was pretty elementary. It was very basic. I had a poor vocabulary where every sentence I spoke ended with like or and and it'd be like, I'd be like this. This weekend it was like I watched the basketball game, and that's the way I spoke, right? That's the way I talked in the past. I had no fluid words to add in my conversation to make it sound more soothing. And again, like if you create videos, if you talk, if you do podcasts, it just improves the way you communicate exponentially. And it's awesome, right? And now even also confidence too. That's another thing too that people don't talk about with speech. by just doing it more, you become so much more confident, right? Like, look at this. What is this? 44, the 44th stream. If you look at stream number 1, you can see how uptight I am. But now it's like I'm fluid, I'm loose, I'm comfortable because I've done this 43 other times, right? So, hold on, let's see what Martin's saying. Nah, colleges are relatively close. Okay, that's good then. It's less time because you go there to learn a trade like mechanics or... Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I said I wouldn't mind doing electrics or electronics? Electrics. Is that like electrical? Because my dad does that, so he'd be on board, but my mom is the main... Your mom is the main blocker for me right now. Okay, I see what you're saying. So that's kind of like... I think that would be the Canadian equivalent of trade school. We kind of have that. It's for like carpenters, electricians, welders, plumbers. Like, you know, those very practical skills? Those are in insanely high demand. Like over here in Canada, we have like a lack of people that want to get into the real trade skills. So those are like, dude, if you learn anything like with electrical, like mechanical, any of those type of real world trade skills, those are so valuable in the future. Because even me as a homeowner, right? I don't know anything about anything electrical, mechanical, like my lighting or my garage door opener or like any of this stuff. I don't know how to do I don't know anything about circuits. Like one of my lights in the kitchen blew out and you couldn't replace the bulb because it was part of the circuit. So we'd have to like pay an electrician like $50 an hour to fix a light bulb in my kitchen. Like that's like a super valuable skill to have later on in life. So definitely your dad understands because it sounds like he's part of, I don't know if you mean electrics as in electronics or electrician, but it's interesting that your mom is the main blocker. I guess your mom is into the more traditional type of education. She wants you to like study to be like book smart, to get like a business degree. Like, is that where your mom is coming from? Because I know like some parents are all about that, right? They want you to be like a lawyer or a doctor or a business person. They want you to study a real profession, right? Like one of those type of corporate day jobs. Oh, Swen is here. Yo, my boy Swen. Yo, Swen, you gonna go for a run in the snow again, dude? Yo, you're crazy. It seems that your gambling and psychedelic videos are popping off. How do you feel about that? By the way, hello guys. Yeah, so the gambling and psychedelic videos are interesting because there's three things in my life that I have a lot of experience in, right? The first is self-improvement. The second is gambling, and the third is psychedelics. And at first, I was afraid to talk about gambling and psychedelics because I didn't think this was something that people would want to watch. And I was also afraid of YouTube censoring me because psychedelics are a Schedule 1 drug. They're illegal, right? In Canada, it's different. The spores for the mushrooms are legal. So you can like buy the spores, grow the mushrooms in your house, and it's fine, right? So I was kind of scared about talking about those two parts of my life. And where self-improvement was something, again, it was one of the big three that I love, that I do on a daily basis, right? So that's how I started the channel. Oh, let's share my workout routines. Let's share this progress of me going to the gym, building a YouTube channel, doing this whole videography stuff. But then eventually I was like, let's make one video about gambling, right? So I made one video about gambling and it did really well. And then I made one video about psychedelics and that did really well. So now I've been thinking like, should I make more videos about those two subjects? And I put like a poll on my channel and a lot of people responded with like heavy into like the gambling. And I've been getting a lot of comments back. And so I've been thinking about this idea about my channel. And that guy Hamza, he likes to call his version of self-improvement holistic self-improvement, right? And so I was wondering, like, my type of self-improvement that I'm into, it's very different. And I've come to this like realization that I'm going to call it psychedelic self-improvement, because I've used psychedelic mushrooms to counter my ego as a person, because I used to be someone that was very arrogant. I was overly confident in my abilities. I just wasn't as humble as a person as I am now, right? I had less compassion for the people. I never cared what anyone else's opinions. I was never open to debate or being wrong about ideas. I was very arrogant and overly confident. And through the use of psychedelics, I've used them to crush my ego and become a better person, become a more humble person, to be able to listen better, to accept when I'm wrong, admit when I make mistakes, right? And so I've kind of used all these things in conjunction, where psychedelics and self-improvement can help you to get rid of your addictions, kind of like gambling, because gambling addiction is a terrible, terrible habit that people get entrapped by, and they ruin their lives. They blow their life savings going to the casino, losing money. And I can tell by like the comment section that I've been getting from people, it's it's rough, right? When people are addicted to going to the casino and playing on slot machines. So I've kind of morphed my channel to this point where I want it to be about using psychedelics to benefit the self-improvement side, which will kind of get you into gambling to realize it's a bad addiction, you need to quit it, and kind of have it loop around, and sort of like build my channel around these three ideas and kind of have it called psychedelic self-improvement, or sort of like the ability, not ability, sort of like the idea. So it's like my form of self-improvement that I'm really into. And I'm not really going to talk too much about like the fitness stuff, right? The fitness and the diet. Even though those things do interest me, that's kind of like, that's not what I'm the best at, right? That's not my area of expertise. Whereas, someone like Hamza, right? He's great with that stuff. Hamza's like the self-improvement workout, pro-masculine pickup girls type. Like that's sort of like his version of self-improvement, right? And I think we all have our own kind of sub niches. And I think that's where I found mine. Right. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Yo, Vietnamese style. What's up? I want you to know I appreciate you, Derek. Your content has helped me in my relationships. Wow, really? In what way? Like family relationships? Partner relationships? Yo, Vietnamese food is the best, bro. That's my favorite food, or second favorite food. Electrician, trade school over uni any day. Oh yeah, how is the balance of creating YouTube videos and going to college or university, Kevin? No, my mom is basically my number one hater. Wow, really? She doesn't believe in me and never has. Every decision I make, it's always a problem for her. Fuck. Damn, dude. Really? That's shit, that's hard. That's tough. She doesn't believe in you. Damn, bro. That's that's really tough. So your mom is kind of like, she's like a barrier for your progress. It's that's a real tough one, because like when I guess I can not really answer this question, but I can give you a story, but maybe you can gain some value from this. But like when I was going to university and college and I dropped out, my mom cried. And a part of that was because in her family, education is extremely important. She has like 5, 6 brothers and sisters, and they all have like degrees from university. And I was the oldest of all the cousins, and I was supposed to be like the next one to get like a university education and degree and be successful. And I remember when I quit, it like destroyed her. And it wasn't as extreme as the situation that you're kind of describing, but I had aspirations to be an entrepreneur. And this was something that I've always been this way. And I think she saw that as dangerous, and she wanted me to be safe and secure. So she wanted me to go down the education route. But even though like it was tough in the moment, like eventually like they'll have faith in you, because at the end of the day, you know, if they love you, right, if they really love you, and they finally see that you're doing something that makes you happy, you know, hopefully it will change their mind about what you want to do with your life, right? And I've talked to my mom about this, right? And we had this conversation, like, you know, I struggled for many years. For many, many years, I struggled with trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, right? Like I went to university and 2 other colleges. So I tried 3 times on 3 separate occasions at 3 different schools to get a college diploma or degree, and all 3 times I failed. Like it just wasn't in the cards for me. This was something that it just wasn't in my DNA, right? It's just something that I wasn't going to do. I have this such a strong affinity to entrepreneurship that the school route, it just was never going to work out. And, you know, like I told my mom, like, you know, hey, this is like what I love, right? And she's like, yeah, I know. She's like, I know you're always different, right? But she's like, she's glad that I finally figured out what I want to do. But it was like hard for her to see like her son struggle, right? Because your parents want what's best for you. They want you to be successful. They want you to be safe. They don't want you to take risks, right? And it's hard as a parent, right? Especially if you have a parent that doesn't believe in like the entrepreneurial side of the world. That's like a tough barrier to break through. It's so hard. And there's no one answer, right? Like my path was my path, right? And I had to find peace with my parents based on my decisions. And it took me a long time. It took me a very long time for them to accept what I want to do with my life, right? It was very hard because they wanted me to, you know, get a degree, get a corporate job, be a professional, wear a suit, you know, work at a 9-to-5 in some cubicle, right? Being a businessman or whatever that is, because that was what would make them happy, right? And so, like, I get it, like the resistance from parents, especially when you're young, it's very hard. It's an extremely hard thing to overcome. But like at the end of the day, like this is your life, right? This is your life. You only live once. You only have one shot on this earth, right? So you can either be brave and do what you think is right and what's best for you, like, and take all the criticism and, you know, try to do something good that you're proud of, or you can crumble and give in to their demands, right? And I think the latter is a wrong decision, and the former is what you should aspire to do, right? You should, because only you know what's best for you, right? You only you know is what makes you happy. So I feel like, you know, bravery is the option, even though it may seem like the stupid option or it may seem like the risky one. I think it's the best option, because if you come out on the other side like I did, you find happiness, right? Like I am so happy. Now I might not, you know, make a lot of money like some of my friends who work in the corporate world, you know, but every day when Monday comes, they dread the week. They hate that it's Monday. And they have this saying, I can't wait until it's Friday, or thank God it's a weekend, or they can't wait for their vacation. Whereas me, I love every day. I love every single day. I wake up, doesn't matter if it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't care. I don't give a shit, right? Because now what I do, it gives me so much joy and happiness in my life, right? Because look at my other coworkers or friends. Saturday, What are they doing? They're going out to the bar, watch the football game, soccer game, basketball game. They want to go party, play video game. You know what I mean? Like, they're escaping their life that they hate. Whereas me, I'm doing this stuff that I love to do, and I do this every single day. Make content, right? Make videos, do streams, build a business, like all this stuff, and it's so much fun for me, right? But again, it's like you have to be brave to go against the grain, right? And not listen to the people that doubt you, right? And it's such a hard thing to do. It's so difficult, to follow your heart and not listen, especially to like your family. And because that's something that I really struggle with, man. Like, I was like a black sheep of my family. It was so hard. For many years, all through my 20s, I was just struggling all the time, But yeah, man, it's like, you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day, right? That's what I honestly, truly believe. You have to find your own happiness in this world. No one can decide what that is for you, right? Maybe happiness is a day job. Maybe the corporate 9-to-5 is what you aspire to do. Then, that's happiness for that person. But that's not happiness for me, right? And so I think the best thing you can do is just, follow your own path at the end of the day. Let me catch up. How do you bear the responsibility of people coming up to you and telling you how they spent everything gambling? That's a tough one, Swen. I've had someone message me that they've lost $200,000 gambling at the casino, and they ruined their life, and that they destroyed their life savings. And then they end the comment with like, help. It's like a cry for help. And I'm like, I don't know this person. I have no idea if this story is real. It's just a comment on a YouTube video. But then I have this weird responsibility, or I feel like I have this weird responsibility to try to help them in some way, even though I don't know who they are. I've never met them. I've never seen them. And so bearing that responsibility, it's tough because you can't save everybody, right? It doesn't matter if you're in self-improvement or you want to go to the gym and get healthier, or maybe help your friends work out. Like, you cannot save everybody, right? And if you spend your time trying to help everyone else, then you can never help yourself. So first and foremost, I care. Like, I do care about, these comments that I get from people. And some of them are tough because they're long. Like, the comments that I get now are like these life stories about, like, they went to the casino, they played blackjack, they won $800 one night, and then they got addicted to the rush, and now they're going every weekend, they're blowing their paycheck at the casino. And like, man, it's horrible hearing those stories. But the way I approach it is that you always have options. Like, I try to tell these people, like, if you can quit your negative addictions, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, TikTok, instant gratification, like whatever bullshit addiction you have, there is always something you can do about it. Always. You can always do something about it, right? And so in the form of gambling, you can ban yourself from the casino. You can go to the pit boss and be like, hey, I want to have a self-imposed ban on myself. Don't let me in the building ever again. Like, you can do that. You can physically ban yourself. You can ban yourself from online gambling websites, poker websites, phone gambling apps. You can impose self-bans. So you can restrict yourself from ever going, right? And then finances. You have to figure it out yourself. If you're in like heavy debt, there are ways you can declare bankruptcy. There are helplines. Like, there's a lot of options. But the people are always like, what do I do? Like, there's so many things that you can do. But again, it will only work if you are willing to make a change. And that's kind of like the message that I've been trying to help push people towards, like, do something about it, right? It's just like the self-improvement world. Like, if you're overweight and unhealthy, do something about it. Don't moan and complain about your job or the government or like do something about it. Go to the gym, Go for a run, exercise, eat less, like do something about it. Like this is so crazy, this idea that people have where they want the magic bullet or secret answer or life hack. Like the answer is do something about it. You can always do something about it. And that's like the message I try to tell people, right? Hold yourself accountable, right? If you're gambling away all your money, whose fault is that? That's your own. That's your own fault. Take accountability for that, right? If you're putting on a bunch of pounds like me over Christmas, over the New Year, I ate a bunch of food, ate a bunch of chips and cake and nonsense, and I gained 8 pounds or whatever. Do something about it. Eat less, exercise more, right? And so accountability, man. Accountability is something that I've been trying to stress because that's the best way that I know I could help those people, right? Because that's like the first step you need to take to bettering your life. And so it's just a little tough because I get a lot of like stories of people really struggling, but I do genuinely do care, and hopefully whatever they get out of my videos, it can help them. Hearing you speak, I was thinking if I go to college, I can work for like 12 pounds at, what's that, Sainsbury's, Wednesday to Friday, and spend the capital and my free time on my agency. This is actually the game plan. What is Sainsbury's? Is that like a company? I'm going to Google that. Sainsbury's? Am I even saying that right? Sainsbury's is a supermarket company in the United Kingdom. Oh, okay. So it's like a grocery store. So you can work there for 12 pounds an hour. Okay, so you're thinking about like working there part-time. That's, you know what? That's an awesome idea. I would say yes to that, but don't let them trap you into working 40 hours. Because there's times where I've got like a job where, you just want to make like some money on the side, and all of a sudden you're doing well, and then they're gonna be like, oh, hey Martin, we're short staffed. We need help. Can we give you some extra shifts? Like, make sure you don't get trapped by that corporate bullshit. Because then all of a sudden you're just working part-time to save up some money for your business, and all of a sudden they want to give you a 4th shift, a 5th shift, Saturday shift, Sunday shift. Like, beware of that. Because I that screwed me over in the past. It's just a pain. Even though I'm super pro entrepreneurial type of stuff, I have a day job too, where I work 25 hours a week right now. And it's a job where I get benefits. I get like a pension, I get vacation days, get some money, but it doesn't like use up all my time, right? I still have like weekends free to do this type of stuff, right? And it's great because you have like this balance. And so people usually think like you either have to go all in on the 9 to 5 or you have to go all in on the business idea. Well, you can kind of go in the middle and sort of do both while you figure it out. Like, you can work a regular job, make some money, and also don't work too much where you have some free time to work on the business while you get the business up out of the ground and up and running, right? Like, you can do that. And then, if the business fails, you can maybe work more and get some more money and try again. Or when the business takes off and it starts prospering, then you can get rid of the day job. Like, you have options, right? I think it's good to have options. Jesus, that is a lot of money. Oh, you mean the 200,000? Yeah, dude, it's 200,000 is absolutely insane. Yeah, man, like think about that. Like, someone has, let's say you have $200,000 in the bank, like that. Maybe that's like your part of your retirement, right? Or maybe that's part of like your kids' education fund. I don't know what that fund is. I'm going to assume it's like your retirement. But man, it's tough, right? Like, that's real. Like, 200,000 is real. Like, when I read that comment, I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't know how to respond to that. How do I respond? Because I've never lost that much money before. Be better or be bitter. That's a good one. Be better or be bitter. You can always be better, right? There's no excuse. No excuse. What's up, kid? Save me. I just blew another 10 grand on cash advance in the casino. Oh, dude. What's going on, bro? What is cash advance? Did the casino spot you 10 grand? Is that what that is? Hold on, let me close this. How do I get rid of my what? Can you guys hear that? My WhatsApp is like going off. Hold on. I need to. Sorry. LOL. WhatsApp sound effect. Yeah. How do I? Where's my volume mixer? Hold on. Give me 1 sec, guys. Can I just mute? Shit. Okay. Hopefully that's off. Because I have the app on my computer. Okay, hopefully that's turned off. Credit card cash advance. I hate myself. Oh, credit card cash advance, dude. Shit. See, that's when why can't I just quit gambling for good? You see, this is a problem, right? This is the problem that so many people have. You know exactly what you're doing is wrong. You know exactly why it's bad. But for whatever reason, you just can't do it. And that's like the definition of an addiction or a compulsion, is that you just keep doing it, even though you know it's a wrong decision to make. So this is like, if you're talking about a physical casino, right, you need to ban yourself from them. There are ways. I think if you just talk to like a casino manager, you can impose a ban. You give them their name, address, all that stuff. Tell them to ban you. So the next time when you don't have the right sensibility to not go, and you drive to the casino, now you can't go in, right? Now that you have a clear mind and you know that, fuck, I just wasted 10 grand. I need to stop gambling. Well, impose a self-ban. So the next time when you're not thinking clearly, right, you can't get in there to blow your money. Like, you have to find a way to restrict the trigger or the cue which causes the bad habit, right? And for a lot of people, it's just like, the lights and the sounds from the slot machines, the ding, 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 like that triggers people's gambling addiction. Or they see a friend that wants to go play blackjack, that will trigger your gambling addiction. Or maybe your brother or sister that's driving there for the weekend, they ask you to come. That will trigger your gambling addiction too. But if you can find a way to physically block yourself from even going there, that's what you need to do, right? Because you can't just be like, oh, just don't spend the money, right? Like, oh, like if you just try to rely on your willpower, it's not going to work. You have to physically prevent yourself from ever going again. That's the first thing you got to do, right? 100%. Call them. Find out how you can impose a ban, right? Self-imposed ban. Like, you can do that. Were you here when Derek spoke about asking them to ban you? Yeah, see exactly what Martin said, right? Because this is a thing, right? People, when you're truly addicted, when you have a gambling compulsion, it's like you have this urge you can't control. And even though in your mind you know what you're doing is wrong, what you know you're doing is stupid, just for whatever reason you just do it anyway, right? It's like the people who smoke cigarettes and then they go to their doctor and the doctor tells them, if you don't quit cigarettes, you're going to be dead in 12 months, right? And okay, yeah, I'm going to quit. Like, in your mind what you need to do, but they are physically addicted to the chemicals in the cigarettes, and then they start smoking again next week. You have to find a way to physically ban yourself from the action which triggers the addiction, right? You have to do that. And the way that you do that is when you get that mental clarity, when you're thinking straight, like right now, when you're thinking clearly, this is when you need to act and do something about it. And if you just procrastinate, oh, I'll figure it out later, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work, because then you're going to default back to your old habit of going on the bus to the casino or driving with the friends. Like when you get that moment of clarity, you need to act, right? Like close this stream. Like even though like I want people to be on this, like close the stream right now. Like get off YouTube. Call the casino that you're going to and find out how to self-impose ban yourself. Or if it's an app online or whatever it is, find a way to do that. Now that you have this moment of clarity, now that you're thinking straight, right? Now you need to act and do something. Like, because if you don't, man, it's only going to get worse and you have yourself to blame, right? And I know this is like a hard thing to hear, but it's 100% your fault. It's all on you, right? It's all on you. And there's this old saying in the poker world and the billiards world that you have to get better the same way you got sick, right? And there's no secret that I can tell you. There's no shortcut or answer or life hack that you can change your mindset. You have to do it yourself, and you have to hold yourself accountable and do something about it, right? And if you don't have anyone that like loves you around you that can tell you the truth, right? Like hear it from me, bro. Hear it from me. Trust me, you have to do something about it, right? It's the only way it's going to get better. I don't know if imposing a ban is a solution, because if you are truly addicted, you will find a way to gamble. Yeah, but the thing with imposing a ban, it's a sort of like the way to start, right? You have to kind of prevent yourself from going there, right? And then you can figure out ways to work on yourself. So the other options you have, there's like gambling helplines. I link them in all my videos. Like there are numbers like I don't know if they're 1-800 numbers. Are they 1-800 numbers? I think they're toll-free numbers. You can call them if you need support, right? Because like, again, you need to find someone to talk to. You need to let your family know. You need to figure out how to automate your finances, right? You need to figure all that stuff out. Like it's like a huge thing you got to figure out, right? Should I just punch someone on the street randomly or just shoplift to get myself caught? At least going to jail is better than the casino. Oh, dude. Don't do that, man. Then you're just ruining your life as an excuse. Right? Don't ruin your life, bro. Come on, there's options, man. Like there's things you can do. Right? There's always things you can do. Right? There's a hotline. You can get help. You can talk to a friend, family member, reach out, like find someone to help you. If you don't want to share this personal information with people, like call a 1-800 number, right? You can get help from people. If your finances are ruined, there's companies that can help you get out of debt, right? They can automate your finances, right? Like block all your credit cards, like all that type of stuff, right? Get rid of it. Like you gotta do something about it. Like committing a crime to force yourself to get locked up. That's a coward's way out. That's a coward's move. Like don't do that. Because then you're just ruining your life, right? And I know it sucks. Like you probably feel terrible. You probably feel depressed. It's probably an awful feeling to have. But what's worse is ruining the future you have left on the earth, right? You only got one life. You still have a chance to fix it. Like you gotta find the positive way out. You can't double down by making a negative situation worse, by doing something even more negative. Because then look what you're doing. You punch someone, you're hurting another person. You steal something, you're hurting someone's business. Because then you're a piece of shit. Not only are you hurting yourself, but you're compounding that by hurting other people too. And that's not cool. That's not cool. Right? Like, you have to man up. You have to step up. You have to Be accountable. That's what you have to, and I know it's hard, man. Trust me, it's hard. Holding yourself accountable and doing something, it's tough, dude. But you have to do it. Like, it's the best way out. I always say this in my videos, do not trust your brain. You will end up not gambling one way or another. Either you start having some discipline or you go bankrupt. Stop considering winning money from gambling even an option, or it will give you an incentive to do it again. I mean inflicting, not imposing. Yeah, see, it's like, again, you have discipline or you go bankrupt, right? Or you ruin your life. It's tough. Like, let me give you an example of what I did. So when I was playing poker, right, I was going to the casino every single day, and I was making money. This was like my career or whatever. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the environment that I was in, the friends that I had in the poker world. We would go to these tournaments, we'd play in these cash games, we'd win money, we'd be in the casino, we'd have dinner. But then we would venture out into the rest of the casino. We'd venture out to the roulette table. We'd go over to the blackjack table. We'd throw the dice on the craps table, right? And when you do that, it doesn't matter what game you play, you're mathematically set up to lose. And it doesn't matter what strategy you have, what day of the week it is, or what good luck charm you have in your pocket, you will always lose mathematically in the long run. And I remember this because I started playing roulette a lot, and it was fun. Like, it was so much fun. There would be like this rush, because if you hit your number on roulette, I think it paid 35 to 1. So I would put like $10 on my favorite number. I'd hit it and get paid $350, and it felt great. It was cool, right? It was awesome. But then, like, over time, all my poker winnings was gone. I was just like losing money all the time. And then not only that, while I was gambling, I'd be betting on the basketball game, right? So I'm gambling passively and actively. I'm gambling on two things at once, right? And then you have this like addiction to it. And so there's going to be a point where you have to put your foot down and make a decision, right? And the way that I did this is like I held myself accountable. I'm like, this is all on me. This is it, and I can do something about it. Like, I have this like physical addiction to bet. Like, I couldn't watch the basketball game anymore without placing a bet, without betting on the spread, the over under, or the prop bets. Like, I couldn't even watch the basketball game anymore. Like, that was my trigger to betting. Like, I'd turn on the basketball game, the first quarter starts. It's like, oh man, I want to see what like the bets are. Let's just place a little bet. Like, let's just place like a $10 bet or a $20 bet, and then it becomes like a $100 bet, and then a $500 bet. Like, you have to find those cues which triggers the addiction, and you have to get rid of them, right? So I stopped watching basketball for like 2 years, I think. I just cut it out completely. Cut out the casino completely. Stopped going there. I removed those people in my environment that would trigger the addiction, right? That would trigger the bad habit. And that's what I did. Like, you have to do that, right? You have to be brave enough to do that. And then I went and got a job, right, to fix my finances. I got a job that was paying $13 an hour in what year was it? 2012. Yeah, 2012. Started a job, $13 an hour, because I had no education, no degree. I had no skills, right? And I had to like sort of fix my life all over from step one financially. And I'm 27 at the time, right? 27 years old, having to enter the workforce with no skills, starting at the bottom, right? And just grinding it out. But again, that is an option if you are willing to hold yourself accountable and do it. And you can do it. And yeah, it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. I'm sick of myself. I tried to self-ban already. Oh, you did? but I will just end up in another casino cruise. I hate myself. I am hopeless. Okay. So, is there a way you can restrict all your finances? Can you cut up all your credit cards, call all your credit card companies, cancel all of your accounts? Like, get your mom or dad, someone that like you truly love, like have them control your money. So you can't even okay, so let's say you go and you drive the casino. If you have no access to your credit cards, right? You have no access to your bank account. Like how are you even gonna bet? Then you can't, right? Can you find a way? Is there someone that you truly love and trust? A parent, husband, a wife? Is there someone like that that can take control of your finances? Is there someone that you can is there someone you can reach out to that can really help you, right? Like, okay, you're gonna go back to a different casino, but what if you restrict your access to money? Will that work? Will that help? My comment didn't send, so I'll say it again. Kid, you're chatting shit. Obviously, don't assault somebody or shoplift. Inflicting damage on others is not a better alternative. I think kid has bad mental health. It's probably some kind of trauma that caused you to have an addiction, so you need to improve your mental health first. Yeah, all of that. Everything. I echo what Martin and Kevin are saying. Like, you can't compound a negative situation by hurting other people. That's just stupid, bro. Mental health is also big too. But here's the thing though, like we are offering you advice. We are offering you positive reinforcement. We are giving you suggestions. But you are coming back with excuses, negative excuses for why you can't do it. Oh, you hate yourself. You're just going to do this. You're just going to do that. Like you're not willing to be accountable. And some people are professional excuse makers. It doesn't matter what you tell them, they'll come up with an excuse. And like, listen, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to be negative towards you. I'm not hating on you, but like, this is like, you need to hear the truth, right? You can't just have an excuse for everything. Like, look, Martin and Kevin are both, right, trying to be supportive, trying to give you some perspective, some ideas. Like, you have to be willing to accept it, right? Like, or else nothing's going to change. It's just like a great analogy here is like the people that want to get fit and want to lose weight. You know, like eat less, come to the gym with me, get a meal plan, let's work out, let's exercise, let's do something. But then you hear all these excuses like, oh no, I can't, I have bad metabolism, I'm big boned, I have poor genetics, I have bad knees, oh I'm too busy on the weekend. Like, we're giving you all the answers. We're laying it all, here's all the answers how you can get fit. But you're just coming up with excuses for why you can't do it, right? You have to get rid of that negative, shitty mindset of just coming up with like excuses for every little thing. Okay, yeah, you try to self-impose a ban, I'll just go to a different casino. Well, do something about it, right? Like, stop coming up excuses for why these things can't help you. Trust me, dude, it's an ugly thing to hear. No one wants to hear that, but it's the truth. Right? It's a truth that so many people need to hear, especially when you come up with excuses all the time for why you can't do something. You can do something. You're like, you just have to be willing to do it. Like, it has to be so important enough for you to make a drastic change in your life. You know, that if you don't do something now, like gambling will ruin your future, it will ruin your life. And that's just the truth, man. This gives me a discipline boost to stop my bad habits. Also, look at your friend group. They always say you are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with. Yeah, see, like that was like me, right? Like my friend group was all like poker players that always wanted to go to the casino and gamble. So if they're doing that, obviously I'm going to gravitate towards that as well, too, right? So Setting physical restrictions isn't the way to go. Me installing a porn blocker isn't going to stop me from being addicted to it. Instead, I remember I'm not a little... I know that guy. Yeah, see, it's like all those things, right? It's all those things. It's like... It's tough, man. Like, it's so hard. You gotta take action. You gotta do something, right? We can give you a lot of steps on how to start towards down that path, right? But you gotta be willing to do something about it. Yeah, this is a fun stream, bro. This is this is what I mean about the gambling stuff. The comments they're tough, right? Because they're real. They're like real people struggling, asking for help, and it's hard because like you want to try to help them in some way, but again, we don't know the situation. We don't, like, do you have parents around you that love you? Do you have a family, friends, brother, sister, like anything? Is there anyone like supportive around you in your life? Right? It's tough. It's tough because we can only guess. We can only make suggestions, right? It's interesting. This is super interesting. And sort of like one of the mindsets that's sort of really helped me is I take accountability for everything that's like happened in my life. Like, I think that's a good mindset to have. Like if my YouTube channel isn't as successful, I haven't made better videos. If I'm not at a certain body weight or physical shape that I would like to be at, well, I haven't worked out enough, or I haven't had the best diet, right? Just holding yourself super accountable, really important, like super, super important. Again, this kind of goes back to like the title of the stream, Keep Showing Up, right? Keep showing up. This stream was like a good reminder for me for that. Let's switch it up a bit. Is there anything else? Any other different subjects you guys want to talk about? Kevin, Martin? Yo, Martin, how's the channel? Did that video you had that got flagged, did it get resolved to the copyright, or like what happened there? Let me see. Kevin Wang. Yo, 124 subscribers, dude. Nice. Let's see, where's that video? Reject modernity, embrace masculinity. 49,000 views. Dude, that is so crazy. That's so cool to see that, like, he started a new channel and he got like success right away. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Fighting? Dude, the channel is like really been growing recently. I've been getting like 10 subscribers pretty much like every single day. Super cool. January is probably going to be my best month ever. I think we're going to hit 50,000 views for the month and 300 subscribers and probably $50 in AdSense, which isn't bad. You know, that's something. It's kind of cool, but it's yeah, it's kind of cool to see, you know, like things are, you know, the community is growing. We're building up our tribe. It's very motivating for me to keep improving. That video proves that tags and description doesn't matter. TubeBuddy is a scam. Yeah, YouTube has also come out and said that tags and all that stuff, it has no significance on the discoverability of your video. All it helps with is if you have any words that are misspelled. And I think when you upload a video to YouTube, it tells you that, like right in the section, when you put the tags, it tells you, like YouTube is telling you, this does not help with discoverability. It only helps with spelling, right? It's like right there. I've automated my descriptions now. I have like a default, I guess, description where it's like, I just post all the links to my stuff for anyone that's interested, that wants to see like the newsletter or the podcast. And then the very first sentence of the description, I just write like a very simple sentence about what the video is about, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, the days of TubeBuddy and vidIQ, they're gone, because all of that Google SEO stuff through tags, it's all nonsense. It's like a waste of time. But yeah, in terms of like content, so I'm gonna try to cycle between like self-improvement, gambling, and psychedelics, and sort of find my way as I go along this like content creation journey. And I'm pretty sure anything related to fitness, I'm gonna put on the back burner and kind of not really talk about too much. I think we can bring it up in the stream, of course, bring it up in the podcast, talk about fitness stuff. But I think I'm kind of done making videos about the subject. I have like that one video where I showed making like a muscle up, or like me training to learn the muscle up. That's like a video that I made that did really well. But again, like I am not fully invested in calisthenics, right? So I don't want to make videos about something that I'm not honest about. And so I have this one video in the calisthenics world that's doing really well. And I'm sure if I made more like calisthenics videos, it also perform well in the algorithm, like based off of that one. But it's like, again, I don't do calisthenics every single day, right? I'd be lying to you guys if I was making videos about that stuff. So I'm going to focus on the things that is true to me. So like the general self-improvement, like mindset type of things, like the motivation, the discipline, the entrepreneurship, the accountability, all those type of things. That's stuff that I believe in, and those are habits that I perform on a daily basis. And then the gambling and mushroom stuff are topics that I have a lot of past experience with and current experience using. And I think I want to find a way to mold that into the self-improvement world and sort of make those two things like my sub-niches and kind of have those ideas complement each other. So I think that's going to be the direction moving forward. Because the other thing too, it's like people see content creators like Hamza. Like Hamza is a great example, right? He is helping young men. He is, building up this community and trying to be a positive force in the world in terms of, physical fitness, mental health, getting rid of porn addiction, which is obviously a terrible habit to have. And so like, I feel like, that's like his world. And the mistake I feel like some people do is they kind of copy that. Whereas I think the better choice is to stay in your own lane for what you do well and what is true to you. And so this is what I'm going to try to do moving forward. I've learned more from YouTube for editing and Photoshop than in college. Yeah, you learn fast about editing and Photoshop when you're making thumbnails and videos all the time. Like you learn real quick. What's a good table tripod for cameras? I would just buy the Amazon basic one. It's like $15. Like I have, let me see. I can show you this one. So this is my go-to one. Close this. So this is Manfrotto. So this Manfrotto is like the high quality tripods, but that was like the tripod I used for like professional videography work. But for YouTube, all you need is like the Amazon basic one. I think it's like $15, Amazon basic tripod. It's like plastic, it's cheap, whatever, but it does the job. That's all you really need. Or maybe you can spend a little bit more to get like a slightly better quality one if you don't want the plastic one. But anything, man, like any simple tripod that works great for your camera, it's all you need. Don't get caught up in the professional videography gear black hole of spending, because that will just destroy your finances. Trust me, this stuff gets expensive. Oh, Forrest is here. Forrest, what's up? How you been? Welcome to the stream, or the end of the stream. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like aim for like hour and a half streams, but just to do them more often. Because like these live streams, like I love doing these. They're so much fun for me. And I always hated waiting 2 weeks in between to do them. And so I was like, why not just do more of them? So I put up a poll asking if you guys, if I should do it more often, if I should do it the same, or if you don't care. And the majority of the votes were do them more often or don't care, right? So I'm like, okay, let's just do what's fun. So I'm going to try to show up every weekend if I can. Maybe do some... Last week I did a surprise Sunday stream. That was like random. I had a couple hours in the afternoon. So I did a stream on a Sunday, which was super cool. But yeah, I just want to do more stuff, more stuff, more videos, more streams, just show up more. Right, I just want to do more stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna be throwing up shorts whenever I can. I'll try to. I think my next video, I'm gonna go more in depth on this idea of psychedelic self-improvement and talk about my vision for the channel moving forward and kind of like what I want to talk about and what I want to work on. Because like YouTube channels are an ever evolving thing, right? They're never the exact same as when you started. It's sort of like they morph and they change as the years go on, and you kind of gravitate towards different subjects, and I grow and change as a person, right? Like I change all the time. When I started the YouTube channel, I had no subscribers, I had no podcasts, I had no experience live streaming, and I had no kids. Right now I have 2 kids. I'm a dad, father, I have a new house, have 44 live streams and 44 podcast episodes, newsletter, like all this stuff. Like I've grown and I've changed so much in 3 years since 2019. And I don't want that evolution of growth to stop. Like I want to keep improving. I don't want to be stagnant, right? Just because I find a couple of topics, that work for the channel, I don't want to just do that and never grow. I always want to keep improving, right? Once I conquer the first milestone or peak or mountain, then I want to set a bigger goal to go after and just keep going and going and going. And I think that's what life is about, right? Is keep setting new goals for yourself. Because you can always improve at something. You can always get better. You can always be a better person, kinder person, better speaker, more compassionate, better listener, right? Be more well-read, be more educated. Like there's always something you can do, right? And so that's what I want to focus on moving forward. And I think that's pretty much it. What am I going to do today? I'm going to do some family stuff today. There's like a ton of snow outside, so I'm going to go play with the kids. We built like this massive snow mountain on the front yard because I shoveled all the snow. Determined, resilient, and passionate. Yeah, bro. Oh, you're still here, Vietnamese style. Bro, I finally found like a bomb Vietnamese restaurant in our new area. Because we moved, was it early last year? Or near the summer of last year, and I was like, man, looking for Vietnamese restaurants in our new area. I couldn't find any that were good. But I finally found some that had some bomb Vietnamese food. It's like literally one of my favorite foods. So yeah. What else was I gonna do today? Oh yeah, I'm gonna just go out, family stuff, and then I'll probably have a couple more shorts coming out every single day. Tomorrow I'm going to have the podcast 44 with Kevin. So that's coming out tomorrow. And then, yeah, I think that's it. We'll see. We'll go from there. No, that's awesome. I constantly try to find good Vietnamese food. Yeah, man, it's so good. So good. Okay, I'm going to end this stream shortly. So Vietnamese style, Forest. Glad to see you, Forest. Oh, Rat Nation. Oh, I missed that comment. Rat Nation. Kevin, Martin, thanks for dropping by. Love the conversation. Martin, good luck with the business. Keep going. Let me know. I want to follow. I want to follow the journey, and next year we'll do another pod, and we'll talk about how much you progressed. Just keep going, right? Regardless of what barriers or like limited mindset people have. Like just keep going, bro. And kid, if you're still there, try to find some help for that addiction. And Swen, keep growing the channel, dude. Done already? Yeah, sorry for us. Sorry. So I've been trying to so I'm gonna try to stream every week if I can. Because before I was doing one every 2 weeks, and I do like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But now I'm gonna do them more often, and try to do like an hour and a half. The problem is when I did like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour stream, it leaves Tina alone with the kids, and they go crazy upstairs, right? So it's like kind of tough. So I got some family stuff to do today, but I think I'll do some sporadic streams too every once in a while. So if you guys don't want to miss any of the sporadic streams, you have to click that stupid bell button below near the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you get the pop-up when I go live for the streams. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Forrest, have a good weekend. Always love catching up with you. And everyone else, like the video if you found this valuable in some way. And we'll see you in AMA 45. I don't know when, but we'll see. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Bye.